Alright guys, can I get your attention? This one, can you get the door please? He's using LiveScribe for a moment.
Oh, excuse me.
Okay, so here's what's going to happen, guys. Can I get your eyes towards me? Alright, so this is going to be your first peer review session. Alright, peer review means you're using another student to edit your work. And the only reason it's peer review is because there aren't enough teachers right now. So it's going to work in a similar fashion to the, you know what we did first class where you found the nouns in the other person's work and underlined them? It's going to work the same way, with the exception of you're reading about someone else's. In most cases, you're using your the second part of your homework, the description of your pets. But if that's not finished or you couldn't get to it, what you're going to use is the what drives you paragraph. And now here's what you're supposed to be looking for. You're looking for 3 things, and I'll write them down in someone else's work. As the semester goes on, we're going to have more and more elaborate, well, not elaborate, sophisticated methods of appreciation. Like if you notice a really good vowel combo, or verb combo, great. But right now, you're looking for 3 things in the piece of work. Okay? These 3 things. And believe me, no one's work is so good or so bad that you can't find at least 3 of each. Alright? So I'll just walk you through this, okay?
Okay, thanks.
Woohoo! Alright. Okay, so say I had Durgee's essay on why he gets out of bed in the morning. So I would find things that work in the sentence. Say he has a particularly memorable turn of phrase, or a series of strong sentences that give me an image in my head of what it was like to, do X, Y, and Z. Then those are things that work, things that you're doing correctly. In other words, if you think, wow, that was really good, you should probably underline it and say, this is good for this reason. Okay? Does anyone need clarification on this point?
Can we choose which one we want the student editing on? If it's the pet, if it's the pet one or the...
In your case, since I saw you writing it just now, you're going to have to go with the what gets you a go and more and more. So you're going to get your work edited twice. That's great. Things that need work. These are things like sentence fragments, misspellings, etc. Things that don't really belong in the essay, like if you refer to your sister breaking her leg in your essay about a pet. I don't see how that's relevant unless you make it, and the dog wouldn't leave her alone for 3 days.
She tripped over the dog.
Okay, then it's an example of how your pet is great. But random things that don't make sense in the context, mention them and say, I don't think this really belongs in this essay. Okay, so off-topic stuff, sentences that don't really seem to make sense, look out for those. Style is something that everyone has, but narrowing it down is going to be part of the work of the class, and we'll talk about style later, so don't worry about that right now. But grammar, while it might be alright to speak that way, read it out loud. It's one of the best ways for editing, especially when it's not your work. So read through it, under your breath or aloud, whatever. And then if a sentence doesn't sound right, go back and underline that sentence and discuss that sentence with the person. Yes, Mr.
Natural reader.
Or natural reader. But since we're using paper copies, natural reader is not an option right now. This is why we're using the resources of the other students in the class. Because everyone here has a little bit of knowledge that the rest of us don't. And this makes them valuable. Okay? Remember what Jan was saying, use what you have? We have a classroom full of people who are learning to become better writers. We would be fools not to take advantage of it. So, that being said, these are the things to look out for. Once you've marked them in whatever way you feel like, you're going to get together with the person whose work you're doing and have a talk with them that should last maybe 5 minutes. But this whole editing process is supposed to be thoughtful. Don't just say, I like that you used a period there. I like that you used a comma. That means this is a complex sentence. I didn't like that you capitalized that. No, be more substantial. Say, I wanted to know more about whatever the subject is. Could you elaborate on that? I think you have room for improvement here. I think this takes it away. This is supposed to help them write a stronger draft. Not just say, I followed the letter of the law and not the spirit of it. Got it? Any questions? Seriously, it's never a bad idea to ask questions.
This is about the path or the motivation. Which do you want?
So I'm going over your motivational ones. If you've done the PEPS one and you're pretty comfortable with it, and it hasn't been edited, that's what this is for. If you're just starting the PEPS one, like I know a couple of you are, then you probably shouldn't use that. You should use the motivational one. But in your case, since I know you did the PEPS one, you're using the PEPS one. So, yeah. Any other questions about what to look for, how to do it?
Lost.
You're lost? What's confusing you?
I'll figure it out.
No. So you're going to tell them 3 things when you look over their writing. Okay? What you liked, what you think needs improvement, and just basic errors in grammar and writing, spelling stuff. What you liked, what you didn't like, what they can expand on, what they shouldn't expand on.
Can you please explain again
But
about
what if there's nothing that they shouldn't I don't know.
If you think it takes away from the strength of the essay, then say so. Hold on and don't start yet. We're still talking, and I recognize Cornelius' work on your desk. So hold on. I have eyes. You look.
Okay, can you please explain things that work for me?
Excuse me?
Things that work.
Things that work. If there's a sentence that you particularly like because you empathize with it, write it down. Or there's a clever turn of phrase. Or even the sentences are very strong, even if they're not very uniform, but they work together and they tell a story. You can see it in your head. Like someone's describing their poor deceased dog Bunny, and you can all but see them panting around in your head. That's good writing because you can see it in your head. Good images, if you feel like you are there, then they're doing a good job. Alright? A bad job is acting as if the audience already knows every single detail and not saying much. Or you're unclear. If you're ever confused, you should find what makes you confused and underline it and ask them to explain. Okay? This is also my chance to assess you guys as editors. This is going to be so fun. Alright?
Actually write on their documents.
Oh yeah.
You're going to write on their
You need to
documents?
face the crap out of their documents. I mean, not that that's okay. But yes, you should, any questions or anything you have should be written down. Durji, in your case, you're using your motivational one, what you have so far. Print it out and pass it to
Put it
them.
out of your bag.
Okay?
Oh, what I have so far?
Yep. And, maybe look at it. Okay? Cornelius, did that help at all? Not really? Alright, I'll help you through yours. Miss Wilma?
Yes.
Good.
So do we start?
Begin.
Who do we go to?
Whoever's your
Next door
neighbor.
neighbor?
Yeah.
Hi, next door neighbor. This one is
Well?
pet. He said if you don't have one